What's up, everyone? It is Mr. M, and I'm back today with a collection update. Got a couple records and some CDs, some 2019 stuff, as well as some stuff from previous years. And first up, I got a record that is celebrating its 30th anniversary this year. A classic album that I'm happy is finally in my collection. That is Dr. Feelgood by Motley Crue. Absolute flawless record in my opinion, from start to finish. Obviously, everyone knows "Kickstart My Heart." You know the second that song starts who it is. And then you got the other big name songs like the title track and "Without You," and some of my favorites: "Same Old Situation," "She Goes Down," "Slice of Your Pie," "Rattlesnake Shake." Songs that I don't think get enough love. But yeah, like I said, absolutely classic record. I'm so happy to finally have this one in my collection. Next up, I have a 2017 release from a band called Ocean's 8 Alaska. This is Hikari, put out on Fearless Records. This is their second full-length album, and they underwent a lineup change between their previous album, Lost Isles, and this one. They got a new vocalist, Jake Noakes, I think is how his name's pronounced. He replaced James Harrison on vocals. Um, Musically, at their core, Ocean's 8 Alaska is a metalcore band, but they add a lot of technical and progressive elements to their music, which to me makes it stand out more than a lot of other metalcore bands. You know, instead of solely relying on breakdowns and electronic stuff like a lot of bands did in the early 2010s, um, they basically just replaced the electronic stuff with actual riffs. Um, and then the breakdowns obviously are still there, but they don't rely on them as much as other bands do. Um, with the lineup change, their previous vocalist James Harrison, I always thought he sounded pretty unique, especially his clean singing style, and he was just an absolute monster when it came to his guttural vocals and his screams, and I loved his vocal style. And then after they finished touring on Lost Isles in 2016, early 2017, he left the band and was replaced by Jake Noakes. And to me, he just sounds like a typical metalcore singer, which kind of sucks. You know, there's nothing really special about his clean singing. His gutturals and screams are nothing too impressive, which kind of sucks. And it kind of takes away from the record, in my opinion, because musically, I love it, but vocally, it's just his performance isn't that great. And so that kind of turned me off for a while. Which is a shame, because I think if James had ended up staying in the band, it probably would have made my year-end list in 2017, but it didn't. And they're in the studio now recording their third full-length album. It's either going to be out in like November or December or sometime early next year. I'm kind of skeptical about it. Hopefully Jake's vocal style will have improved. I'm still going to check it out regardless when it comes out, because I do like them musically. But hopefully Jake can step it up and deliver a better vocal performance on this next record. Next up is a band called Larkin Poe. This is technically a reissue. This is Reskinned. Originally it was released in 2014 and it was just called Kin. But it got re-released in 2016. They made the album art black and white instead of colored. And I guess on a few songs there's some different mixes. But other than that, like, the track listing has stayed the same. There's no additions to it. They might have changed up. They probably did change up the presentation of the CD. But I haven't listened to the original version, so I can't really say if there's anything too different about it. I guess the story behind this record is my dad went to the music store that we live closest to, and the owner asked what he wanted to listen to. And my dad said something to the effect of, "Play something new that I haven't heard before." And so I guess the owner was really digging this album, and he threw this on, and my dad was sold on it instantly. He bought the vinyl for himself, he bought the CD for me, and to me it sounds like a crossover between The Pretty Reckless and Hailstorm, with a massive blues injection as well as some country thrown in there. I got to see them live a couple days ago, and they're an absolute powerhouse live. Super energetic. The thing really is, I don't listen to blues that much. and I definitely don't really listen to country. So it's hard for me to, outside of that comparison with the Pretty Reckless and Hailstorm, it's hard for me to actually compare this to any band that I've listened to, or any band that I even have in my collection. So, as if that sounds good, if you like the Pretty Reckless, Hailstorm, if you like southern rock, some blues type stuff, give Larkin Poe a listen. Hopefully you'll dig them, because I sure do. Got a couple records to show now. This first one put out on 20 bucks spin. Tomb Mold. I got this kind of late because the record plant decided to close for a couple weeks. This is technically a second pressing. When pre-orders went live, 20 bucks spin had like 6 different color variants, and then they sold out. And then they, a couple hours after they all sold out, they put up a second pressing with 3 more color variants, which includes this one, which is this beautiful purple and blue merge. Pretty simple center labels. And yeah, so everyone who ordered the first pressing got theirs before the release date, and then everyone who got the second pressing, which obviously includes me, and we had to wait almost a month after the album released to be able to get our copies. And the Cerebral Rot orders apparently also were delayed, but I was seeing people get the Cerebral Rot albums before I was getting my Tomb Mold record. It's got a lyric sheet and then some pretty sick artwork on the back. And the Cerebral Rot record, I'll get into that in a different collection update. I was going to pre-order that, but then I saw that they had announced their tour with Fetid, so I just decided to hold it off until I see them live when they come to Denver. And then it comes with this poster with some pretty neat artwork. And then on the back side, you have the expanded album artwork, which I absolutely love this album artwork. I think it's their best out of their 3 albums. As for the music, the first taste we got of this was actually last year, only a couple months after Manners of Infinite Forms was released. They did the Cerulean Salvation demo promo thing, which had the 2 songs, Cerulean Salvation and Planetary Clairvoyance. I'm pretty sure they did a different mix. I haven't listened to the promo in a while, so I can't remember. But I'm sure they probably did, since that was just a demo. And then when pre-orders went live for this thing, when this was actually properly announced, the first song we heard, aside from that demo, was Infinite Resurrection, which in my opinion is by far the best song on this record. There's a riff about halfway through that is just monstrous. And now if you find the video of that song on 20 Bucks Spin's YouTube page, scroll through the comments. People have said the same thing. For this record, Tomb Mold basically sounds like their own band now. They don't sound like anything else like they did on Primordial Malignity and Manners of Infinite Forms. You know, if a song from this record comes up, you'll just know, like, yeah, that's Tomb Mold. The B-side, though, to me, isn't as strong as the A-side. You have the songs Cerulean Salvation, and then Accelerative Phenomena and Heat Death. And for some reason, like, it doesn't hold up to me as strong as the A-side of this does. The riffs are obviously still there. They're present in the entire album. It sounds brutal and heavy as all hell. But regardless of the B-side not being as strong, in my opinion, this is still an excellent record, and if for some reason you haven't listened to this yet, definitely do. 20 Bucks Spin, I think, may still have some vinyl copies left, but it's probably primarily just going to be black. And if there is any color variants, they're down to their last copies. And then to cap off this video, we have a long-awaited record, Devourment, Obscene Majesty, their first full-length record since 2013. I think this is also their first material since 2013. Put out on Relapse Records. Comes with this booklet in here. not really a full book, but it's just a fold out page like that Tomb Mold poster was. Got the lyrics, credits. Then on the back side, you got band, picture. And then I got the red and silver merge, limited to 200 copies. And the center label on the B side is just the album artwork on the back. This is a solid record. Definitely worth a 6-year wait. There's not a single bad song on this record. We first heard Cognitive Sedation Butchery, I believe, was the first song that was released from this record. And that, along with the, just like the Infinite Resurrection by Tomb Mold, that song is by far my favorite. There is one of those slamming riffs in that song that just makes me want to put my head through a wall. Devourment haven't reinvented the wheel. They're not doing anything too different. But, you know, this is just filled with riffs, super fast drumming. Obviously, you get the brutal slamming riffs that they are known for. Along with Cognitive Sedation Butchery, Xenoglossia, Mortem Sil Morte, Narcissistic Paraphernalia, like all 10 songs on here are just flawless. I don't think there's a bad song on here. It's pretty average length for a record. It's about 46 or 47 minutes long. There's 10 songs. This is the longest record Devourment has done, but listening to it, to me, it doesn't feel that long. You know, it seriously feels like only 30 minutes. They have like 3 songs on here that pass the 6-minute mark. And again, it doesn't feel that long, you know. I guess if you're like super analyzing the record, that's like a terrible way to put that. But if you're like paying a lot of attention to the record, it might feel that long or even longer. But to me, it just like listening to it, just having it on as background noise, or like the first couple times I listened to it when I was paying attention to it more, it still felt like it was so much shorter than what it actually was. And then the lyrical content, obviously Devourment, they have some pretty perverse stuff, but like some of the songs on here are just so fucked. I think it's Artial Spray Patterns, I think. Those lyrics are like really fucked, and I enjoyed reading the lyrics to this when I was listening to it the first couple of times. But yeah, just like Tomb Mold record, fuck that, I'm not gonna put it in. Just like the Tomb Mold record, if you haven't listened to this one, fucking do it. Especially if you're a fan of brutal death metal. This does sound a bit different than their previous couple records that they did, but it's still incredibly solid, front to back, and I highly recommend this for sure. It's going to top a lot of year-end lists, I know that for a fact. It's definitely going to be pretty high up on mine too. So yeah, that's what I've got for this collection update. Thank you for watching, commenting, subscribing. Links to what I can find will be in the description below, and I will catch you in the next video.